So welcome to another edition of our talk show on the Golfing Hub. For me, covering pro golf has been something like bread and butter, but your passion often gets tempered by reality. Something which we'll talk about with my guest this morning, the Chirag Kumar. For those who follow golf, he needs no introduction. But for the others, let me share this brief resume. He is a winner on the Asian Tour, multiple time winner on the PGTI, and a man who speaks very well. And now we can say he has a wonderful journey to narrate as well, which, well, of course, when we look back, would be a tad painful as well. So Chirag, thank you for taking out time out, and welcome. So let's start by asking you, you had a pretty turbulent 2022. I guess that is what life is, always throwing surprises at you. You were in the midst of playing when the lower back trouble erupted, then surgery. When you go through so many things in a very short span, it takes time to, soak everything in. And I guess when you were on that surgery table, you would have thought, ki, what next? And I think for most of us, it's why me? So from finding yourself at a crossroad, now, almost a year down, you're into coaching now, you're also an official on the Asian Tour looking after player relations and policies. How do you look back and now vis-a-vis that injury?
Well, Robin, first, thanks for having me here on your show. Yeah, turbulent was the right word that you used. It's almost been a year now. And so we found out in late August, maybe third week of August. I had just come back from Singapore after the International Series Singapore, and I had to withdraw for obvious reasons. I wasn't really able to swing the club. And then, surprisingly, I took a week off, and it seemed like everything was okay. And then I went to Chennai to play a tournament again, and again the same thing erupted when I was there. And this had been going on for a while. It wasn't that it suddenly sort of started happening. For about a year and a half before that, I was having lower back issues. And the surprising part was that, I would get physio done, and I'd work out, I'd maybe take 1 or 2 days off, and I'd feel great, and I'd, feel like nothing had really happened. And then again, I'd start playing, and, things would go from bad to worse. But surprisingly, none of the physios really told me that, there was anything wrong, until I came back from Chennai and I said, what, there's something really wrong. And I actually went to a physio in Chennai who had been with the Indian cricket team, etc. earlier. And he said, I think there's some investigation that needs to be done. And then when we got an MRI done, it turned out I had a fracture in my L3, L4. So yeah, it came as a huge shock to everyone. And of course, the first thing is, what next? So we consulted a battery of doctors, and I sent my reports abroad as well. And everyone sort of had the same opinion that, I probably needed surgical intervention to get this sorted out. And surgery with the spine is always risky. My first question to all the doctors was that, is it golf related? Because I don't really feel anything otherwise. I'm working out, I'm running, I'm doing everything, and nothing really bothers me. So I said, if I stop playing golf, do I still need to get the surgery done? And all of them said that, we can give you 5 months, 6 months. In fact, one person also said that, how are you walking? So it was that bad. And I was lucky that I didn't have to really go through all that pain of numbness in the legs and stuff like that. So not playing golf would never have been an option. So I saw it positively, that at least now I know what the issue is, and if I actually get this surgery done, it might give myself a better chance of at least playing a little bit of golf. I don't know if it's going to be a full-time thing, but at least I've given myself a little bit of a chance to maybe start swinging the club again. So yeah, like what you mentioned about being on that surgery table and thinking what next, or mere saath kyun, all of that. for me, I took it positively that, now at least I have a chance.
But tell me, Chirag, coming from someone like you, who was, known for his harsh work ethics, almost a killing fitness schedule, long hours on the golf course. For someone like that, asking the doctor, if I stop playing golf, can I avoid surgery? How difficult was it for you to ask that question?
Well, the question was really hard to ask, but it's not that was ever going to happen, unless of course I was told that, listen, this is life or death, but yeah, that was never going to happen, and I'm just glad that part's over now, and hopefully if my rehab goes well, which at the moment is okay, so let's see.
Say, suppose the doctor had said, okay, Chirag, you stop playing golf, you won't need surgery. Would you have gone with that advice?
Probably not.
So I guess that athlete's instinct somewhere kind of always gets the better of somebody who's been on tour for so long.
Yeah, surgery and medical stuff with athletes has never been uncommon. The most famous one is Tiger Woods himself. He had the same surgery that I've had, the fusion, and I just thought to myself that with rehab nowadays and the advances in medical technology and all of that, again I'm repeating myself, but I could give myself a chance possibly to play a little bit.
I'm sure with your kind of awareness of your body and the schedule that you follow, you will get back. But of course, I'm sure it will be a curtailed program. But at least you get to, express yourself on the golf course.
Yeah, it's hard to keep golf out of me and hard to keep me out of golf. It's something that I've done pretty much all my life. So whether I play full-time competitive golf, well, I'm not really sure about that. But at least I'll get to play a little bit of golf here and there whenever I want.
But knowing you'll always definitely give it a shot.
I probably will, yes.
So now that you kind of wear three hats, you are a player of repute. You're now into coaching at the Delhi Golf Club. A lot of youngsters look up to you now, waiting for you to share your expertise, and now working with the Asian Tour and the players. So how do you kind of, going forward, how do you plan to strike a balance?
Well, the playing aspect of it is still, doubtful. I don't know how much of it is going to happen. But otherwise, I've been balancing the two other aspects quite well. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I love coaching. I really enjoy working with the youngsters, especially the ones who are aspiring to become good players and playing competitively. I've always enjoyed, being, with the players division. I spent, I think 9 years on the Asian Tour TPC, which is basically player-related stuff. Yeah. I've spent a long time here on the PGTI, on the TPC, and on the board as well. Spent time on the Asian Tour board as well. So, it's I really enjoy that, and I'm very thankful, for that opportunity that's opened up for me, and I'm just looking forward to continuing doing what I'm doing.
Coming to another point, on the golf course as a player, you're pretty much on your own, and you're playing for yourself. As a coach, you're imparting your know-how to someone who's willing to get better. Say if down the line one of your students goes on to make it big, and you are asked to weigh the two things, your Panasonic Open win and your student, say, winning an Asian Tour title, how would you weigh it?
Well, I think you have to look at the time and space. At that time, Panasonic Open was the most important thing for me. If I'm not playing anymore and I'm really into, and I give it 100% with my students, and if they go out to become an Asian Tour or a European Tour or LET winner, or it'll be fantastic for me. I think it'll be huge. I don't know how. It's a great question, but again a very tough one for me to answer. But yeah, it'll definitely be a really big thing for me if one of my students goes out and becomes a champion on a big tour.
often it's said, a great player may not be a great coach. So for you, getting out of the mindset of a top-notch professional golfer to, say, getting down to coaching, say, a 5-year-old, where communication itself is a problem, trying to make him or her understand your point of view, how difficult was it to make that transition?
Initially, it was really hard, and I think it's still a little hard, when very young kids come to you because of communication. Generally, whenever as pros, you've spoken at a very different level, where even some of the kids who are 16, 17 right now and who are playing competitively, they may not really be able to relate to you. So you obviously have to tone it down a little bit. But yes, it's not easy, but it's enjoyable at the same time. I think the kids who've actually really played a lot of golf already, it's a lot easier to communicate with them and speak with them and make them understand, the perspective. So yeah, it's coming back to your question. It's quite hard to communicate with very young.
But I guess you're getting better at it.
Absolutely. I think experience is something that you can't buy. And, in any field, the more experience you have, I guess the better you are.
But I guess again a quirky question, Chirag. But for that injury, you would have still, being living out of a suitcase, playing the Asian Tour, the PGTI. But now, whether we like it or not, that injury has added a lot more flavor to your life. I guess, interacting with kids, it gives you a different perspective also. Because coming from a different generation, interacting with, younger kids, the younger lot, you often learn a lot of things, maybe outside golf also, because a sudden statement might, get you thinking. So, do you also look at it from that point of view?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've been very fortunate to be where I am right now. So, enjoying every bit of it. I wasn't sure what was going to happen after my injury, but of course things have worked out really well. I don't know how, eventually I guess I would have always transitioned into, being a coach, maybe not this early in my career, but, I don't know. Time will tell where we are, 1 year from now, 2 years from now. But yeah, like you said, it's amazing to learn from a lot of these kids as well, what they are saying, what their perspective is, because as a player yourself, right, when you would go to a coach or whoever, they would tell you things and feed it into you, right, that this is how it should be. And now I find myself in that same position where I'm feeding into, the youngsters and, going back to the question that you asked me last, if I could actually help one or two of these kids, become the next, player, I would be really, really happy.
Say, on the driving range when you are in the midst of a lesson, do the days when you were kind of seeing your coach, those memories come back?
Yes. About 2 to 3 weeks ago on the golf course, and we were training quite hard. Some of them have gone to the US to play a bunch of tournaments now. And I was just thinking to myself, these guys are so lucky that they have something to play for right now. Last year, this time, I was probably getting ready for the second half of the season. And, right now, it's just so different that I don't have anything to get ready for or get up for because I can't. Yeah. So, I see myself, in their shoes, and, sometimes I think, what, I probably would have been working a lot harder than these kids are working right now.
So, wishing you all the best, Chirag, in your endeavors, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.